Good evening, everyone. We're just going to wait for a few more of you to join us on this beautiful Sunday. Actually, it's been a lovely day today.
It has indeed. I didn't realise it was so hot. So I went outside doing some reading. I was like, wow, it's really warm today in comparison to the other days. So
it's a lovely day.
I'm really super excited about today's episode. This series, actually, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal, where we're going to get to explore so many black business out there doing amazing things out there within our community. And this is such a time to be able to really get to learn more about them, especially with the initiative from Swiss. From So Solid, starting the whole Black Pound Day. You know, that Black Pound needs to keep on going around in our community. So this is a great time to be able to really find out more about these individuals.
That is true. So while Kaz is typing the topic of conversation, as she mentioned, it is our Black Business series, and we are going to be shining basically a spotlight on black businesses so that you know where you can spend your black pound, your white pound, your pink pound, any type of pound, but where you can support black businesses. So tonight we've got two phenomenal guests lined up for you. Our first guest is Trevor Tacky, and Trevor has a property investment company called Trevlyn Properties. So Trevor's going to be joining us pretty soon. We can see that Trevor's already on. Hi, Trevor. Hi, Your Narrative, Serena. Hi, everybody that has joined so far. Trevor, we're going to add you shortly. Hi, Hannah. But yes, as we said, this is the season for black business. So we are looking forward to bringing to you a number of black businesses who are doing great things. So Trevor, you're ready? Give us a thumbs up if you're ready. Grab a glass. We've got a glass today, actually. Cheers.
We're having a glass today.
We just thought, you know what, why not? You know, summer is here. Well, summer was here today. It might be gone tomorrow, but we're just having a nice glass of red wine.
Glass of Sunday, and it's all about having a glass right now. So, thank you, Serena. We are glowing.
Thanks, Serena.
Okay, so
Trevor's on. So
we can just
add him? I
Yes,
wanted
please.
a thumbs up from Trevor. We didn't get a thumbs up, but no time like now, Trevor. So we're going to add you now. Are you ready? Hope you're ready.
Yep.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, Trevor, it says you're unable to join, Trevor. Now, that might be because if you are watching or you are logged on from your laptop, you will not be able to join. So you have to log on from a phone. We noticed this last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
If you're logged on, there he is. He's at the bottom. He's put a comment at the bottom. So he says, liking it, ladies.
Okay, so Trevor, you need to go over to your smartphone. So that, oh yeah, it should be there now.
All right, let's see if you're there now. Let's try you now. Yeah. So Trevor, as we said, Trevor Tacky from Trevlyn Properties, a property investment company, and he's going to talk about how he got set up, what services he offers, and yeah, he's going to just speak about his journey, really. Kaz almost ended the live there, by the way.
Guys, I was trying to pin the topic. That's what I was trying to do.
So,
yeah. We didn't lose anything.
We didn't lose anything. We are waiting for Trevor. It says we're waiting for you to join us. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, we've lost you again. Okay, we're going to send you a request again. In the meantime, we will pin the comment of the topic of conversation that we're talking about. Oh, Trevor sent us an invite. No, you might have to send it through again.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Trevor, let's see if we're second time lucky. It still says we're waiting for a response from you, Trevor. Hey there, Shirley. Trevor, it's not, whatever you're doing, Trevor, it's not liking it. It's not liking it at all. Not sure what's going on there. Try and Okay, let's pin this because that's what we're talking about. Pin the comment. Okay. We're trying again, Trevor. Wait. Fingers crossed. No, you left the building.
Trevor, you just got to accept. You just got to accept.
Just accept.
Maybe it might be even, maybe it's his internet.
Maybe.
If you're not using a smartphone, it won't work. So you have to ensure you're using a smartphone. We just want to say thank you guys for all joining in. Do please bear with us. You know, this is the thing about doing lives. We do get some technical glitches, so we sincerely apologise.
Let's try and see if we can request him to join us again. We're trying to add you now, Trevor. It just says waiting for you to join, Trevor. So if you are using Wi-Fi, it might be that connection. You might.
Oh, hey, Mr. Tacky's in the building. It's all good now. Yes, we are good.
We're good. How you doing?
Hey guys, apologies about that. I was trying to do it on the computer, but it just didn't seem to be working.
No, it doesn't work. Okay, so for anyone else watching out there who wants to do Insta Lives, one thing you need to know, you cannot do it via your laptop. You can't do it via a PC. Right. We covered that last week. And so, yeah. So that's why I was saying if you're trying to join via your laptop, it's not going to work.
Right, okay, no problem at all. Thank you.
But we got there in the end. So, Trevor, we're just going to go straight into it. So introduce yourselves to our viewers and tell us what you do.
Well, my name is Trevor Tacky, and I'm one of the directors for Trevlyn Properties, which is an estate agent. Been established for the last 2 years. I've been in the industry for around about 20 plus years. And what we do is we focus on properties within the sales market, the rental market, and investment market. Prices starting for the sales between 250,000 to around about 20 million. This is covering the prime market, central London, through Canary Wharf and within the M25. So that's what we do. And we're a 5-star estate agent on Google Reviews, on Trustpilot, and also on MoveBubble, which is a rental application as well. So that's it pretty much, guys.
And when did you get started? Yeah, when did you get started? And why did you get started? When did you get started?
Why properties?
Okay, so started Trevlyn Properties around about 2 years ago in April 2018. I had been in the industry for around about, at that time, probably about 17 years or so. And I saw a huge opportunity in the market, really, when I started seeing that companies were doing quite few things quite traditionally. Apologies for the movement. I'm just trying to balance this thing now. Can you see me?
Balance up the thing, man. Balance it up.
So it was pretty much to have a look and see what was going on in the sales market and the estate agency industry. And I think for us, we saw opportunity where the market was changing. People wanted things to be a bit more slimlined. People wanted to feel comfortable dealing with people buying, selling or renting properties and so forth. So we thought we'll do it slightly different and move away from the traditional high street estate agent where people walk in and feel kind of intimidated because it'd be one person or two people walk in and there'll be a group of 5 or 6 agents in the office looking at that person, and that can be a little bit intimidating for people. Mm-hmm. Also, we realized that the market was changing in the sense that a lot of people were using more handsets. So either being on a computer or using their smartphones to look at properties and inquire about properties. So that gave us opportunities to be able to do things more effectively for us.
So did you work in a property game before that? And then you decided to start your own business?
Yeah, I worked in the property game for around about 17 years. I worked for an independent agent back in the early 2000. Then I worked for a corporate organisation, sort of like 2003, 2004. I worked for a corporate organisation. I was headhunted from the smaller company to the big organisation. And then I became a branch manager in the Streatham area, Balham area, and then Orpington, which was in Kent. I subsequently worked abroad and then came back to the UK And then I worked for a couple of independent companies and then started Trevlyn Properties back in 2018.
So can I just ask, Trevor, so have you always been interested in property? Why, why property? Because obviously you've got such a large, career within the property game itself. But what made you go into that field itself, that profession?
I kind of got into it by accident, to be fair. I was originally...
It wasn't made by accident. You've been there for how many years? It wasn't an accident.
No, I mean, initially, how I got introduced into it was by accident, because I was actually looking for work at that time, and so I picked up the Evening Standard one time, and prior to that, I was working in a sort of like an online company, and this was like pre-e-commerce time, and we were working in an internet company, which we had like an A5 booklet. And this A5 booklet allowed you to use as a reference point to type in a URL and go online. And so I worked for them for a while, really good company at that time. And what effectively happened was I kind of left that and found myself looking at a newspaper, Evening Standard, looking in there, and it had in there the negotiator through the editorial and works pages. It had in it negotiator, and I thought the negotiator was very similar to Samuel L. Jackson, the movie. So that's what I had in my head. So I gave them a call and I was like, look, I'm quite interested in this role, and didn't know. But they said to me, look, come down, let's have an interview and see how you get on. I was invited to the interview and it went successful. It was successful, and that's when I realized that it was actually to do with properties and things like that. And I was just like, wow, I like this. And that's how I got into it. Cut long story short, that's how I got into it.
That was kind of an accident. Yeah, that was accident. I'll give you that. But it was ordained. It was ordained. Yes.
Right. So what made you decide to break away and say, do you know what? Forget working for the man. I'm going to work for this man myself. What made you do that?
Do you know what? Again, that kind of thing, it kind of evolved. I was actually thinking about going back abroad for a little while, and working abroad, because that's where kind of my passion was, to give back. And when I say working abroad, I'm talking about working in Ghana and things like that. So that's
tell us more about that. That's interesting.
Well, the thing is, I hadn't been. I'm originally Ghanaian, so my parents are from Ghana, and I hadn't been to Ghana for over 25 years. And the first time I went back to Ghana was in 2012. And when I got there, I was excited. I was just like, wow, this is awesome. The people are alive, it's chilled, you got good quality of life and everything else with it. So I was just like, this is really good. But my friends had been speaking to me about going to Ghana for a while. I'd always put in the back of my head and be like, oh, I'll go one day. And then we had a mutual friend. He said to me, Trevor, there are things that's changing in Ghana. You've got to get over there. And so through that, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And he introduced me to a guy. He was a really nice, pleasant guy who was developing in Ghana. He had about 200 acres of land, and they were developing affordable housing. So these were for the indigenous Ghanaians who were police officers, nurses, firemen, the civil servants, really, to the diaspora as well. So those that were based in America, Holland, and the UK that were looking to come over, these were the people that they were marketing and targeting. So I was like, this is really cool. And I came in as a COO, so I was just below the CEO in operating in Ghana, and I loved it. Every day was different. The terrain is totally different. The people are different, what you're dealing with and that. And that was really interesting, because I was so used to being over here where everything is structured. But over there it's not structured. You literally have to make things happen. And that was really a skill set that I really enjoyed developing.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Whereabouts in Ghana was he? Was he in Accra or Kumasi, or where was he?
We had a branch in Accra, but the development itself was in Central Region, which was in a place called Patois. And it was just probably about 40 minutes outside of Accra, driving. And it was just beautiful land, 200 acres of land that were developing these houses from 2-bedroom terraces to 4-bedroom detached homes. And the prices were really, really good in comparison to what you normally get in the UK. So anything from, you know, 30,000 US dollars to, you know, 400,000 US dollars, for example. So it had a variety of different budgets to cater for. And I was there for probably just under 2 years.
So tell me something. Do you still have your finger on the pulse with the Ghana property market? I'm asking for a friend.
I would definitely say so. I'm really keen on the environment, what's happening in Ghana. I'm interested in what's happening in Africa at the moment. There's a lot of things that is happening over there, and a lot of tech companies are moving over there. A lot of new hubs are being started over there. And there's a next frontier, in my opinion, anyway, for people to start looking to see where the market is going, what they can do.
Okay. Great. So what I want to also ask you, because obviously this is the Black Business Series, what advice would you give to somebody that potentially want to, you know, start their own business, similar to yourself? What advice would you give to somebody who potentially is watching?
Well, it all depends on what field they want to do. If they really want to work in properties, for example, in the UK, I would say to them they should get experience within an estate agent. Understand the process within the sales industry, because there's a variety of industries that you can go through within the property industry. So you can come in as an investor, which you literally have the money and you're able to say, okay, I want to buy a property. Maybe I want to buy a property to do HMO, which is house of multiple occupants. And that literally means that you rent out the properties as rooms and you make a profit on maybe the third room or the fourth room to cover the cost. So that would be from an investment side of things, where you're also a landlord, but you're investing to get a quick return. Then there's those that want to move in there and become an agent, where they're either selling a property to potential buyers, whether they're buying it for investment or whether they're buying to live. And that would be the general estate agent. And then you could do the lettings, which is the rental side of things, where people are coming in and saying, look, I'm interested in finding a property to rent, maybe 6 to 12 months or longer. And then they also have their own separate market. So the property industry is a huge industry. And I think some people make a mistake of thinking, you know, it's just going in and buying a property and saying, you know, I'm in properties. But there are different sectors and different sections within the industry. So it depends on what they want to do and what their objectives are.
So you listed a number of services, obviously, that people can kind of get themselves involved in if they're looking to go down that route in terms of business, like Kaz asked you. But I assume that you do all those services that you've listed. So
correct.
If somebody was to come to Trevlyn Properties, what do you offer? What services? We want to hear more about what services you offer and what you can help people do in terms of investing in property.
Absolutely. So at Trevlyn Properties, we cover a range of properties from $250,000 being sort of like the starting point of the budget, and we can go up and source properties up to 20 million, 26 million, depending on what your budget is. In between all of that, we have a variety of properties, whether it's in prime London, which we'll call prime London, sort of, you know, Hyde Park, your Mayfair, your Blackfriars and those kind of central locations, Covent Garden, to your Canary Wharf, which is your hub for financial hubs and properties in that kind of location, and then suburbs, which is, you know, your sort of Bromleys and things like that, for example. And what we do is that we offer properties where you can buy them on the market, and we have associates that we work with if we don't have the properties personally that we can refer you to. So if you're looking for properties to purchase, we can assist you with that. Also, we deal with the rental side of things. We also rent out properties. So we have properties on our books which are currently on the market for rentals. And again, if you're looking for property to rent, we can also help you with that. For those that are looking for investments, we have developments all over London that people can potentially contact us and say, look, what do you have available? I have $500,000, I have 2 million, I have 3 million, or maybe I don't have that. I have a little bit less, but I'm looking to invest that money for a return. And we can assist you with that as well.
That sounds really amazing. I mean, because you offer the full breadth of services, which is great. And often, you know, the property game, a lot of the time in this country, if you step into your average estate agent, you're not going to see someone who looks like you. Let's just be real here. and we kind of have this notion that we're kind of locked out of that world, if you like. That world feels a bit foreign to us. So it's beautiful to see someone like you, not only within that industry, but running things. You're running your own business in that industry. So big up yourself. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. We are talking about strengthening the black economy, where people can spend their pound, their black pound, pink pound. Doesn't really matter what colour pound, pink, white, yellow, green. We don't really care, but we just want to strengthen the black economy. And Ken, you are our first guest within that season talking about what you offer.
Sure.
But there are people out there watching who will have money to invest, and probably looking towards property and thinking that property is a great place for them to start. So Kaz has just put it out there for anybody to ask any questions if they have any questions for you. But tell us, if somebody does have some money to invest and they're looking to start, what's the best place for them to kind of start if they've not done anything like that before?
I think the best place for anyone to start would be a bit of research. Have a discussion with a mortgage broker, first and foremost, because you'll have a certain amount of deposit, or it depends whether you've got cash and you're going to do a cash purchase. But I'd advise you to speak to a broker, which we can refer you to a broker. They'll be able to sit down and let you know what your maximum budget is. So, for example, you might have a £100,000 deposit saved up, or you might have £25,000 deposit saved up. There are schemes such as first-time buyer schemes. There are other opportunities that you can potentially do joint ventures with and so forth. But the most important thing is to find out what you can actually achieve by yourself, and be able to purchase your first property by yourself. I'd advise people to obviously look to do that. It's a great way to go into the market. It's a great way to also save, because on average, in London especially, people are looking to, for their properties to grow in value between 10 to 20,000 per annum. Now, most people don't get to save that per annum because of the living costs of people's lives in London and things like that. But with property, that can allow you to have that flexibility for that growth. It depends also who you're speaking with and what kind of market you're in. I mean, most recently, we've heard about the stamp duty being scrapped for people wanting to purchase properties up to £500,000. This is a great incentive for people that have been thinking about wanting to buy a property to actually use this momentum and this moment in time to actually get on the ladder. It is a bit precarious because you've got a situation where people are being furloughed as well. So you have to have the balance on as to whether your job is secure, and that in turn would be able to help people with paying their mortgages on a monthly basis, because if you don't have the job, it will be difficult for you to be able to make that money to pay your mortgage if mortgage is required for you to purchase your property. So those are kind of things that you need to be able to start off being.
And what about property? What about to your questions? What about property abroad? So you mentioned you've worked in Ghana. Are you able to source property abroad?
Yeah, we can do that. There are agents that we have worked with in Ghana that can assist you, and we can put you in touch with them. We are currently looking at ways that we can make it a bit more streamlined. So we don't know what the future holds, but you might have Trevlyn properties in Ghana at some point, which might be able to make the transition between the UK or Europe to Ghana or Africa a little bit more easier, knowing the brand is already in the UK that you can work with, and you can also work with them abroad as well to make it streamlined for you. So these are things that are potentially in the pipeline that we'll be looking at in the future.
And then just another question about property auctions. Do you guys get involved in auctions, go to auctions, help people to understand what going to an auction looks like? Because you can pick up some good properties at auctions, but a lot of people, again, might be daunted by going to an auction. Do you help people with that?
We do go to auctions, but we don't actively assist people in the auction process. What we do is, what I've mentioned previously, is to do the sales, helping people to purchase properties, helping people to look for investment opportunities, seeing what the yield is like for them, and really understanding what they actually want. I mean, the market with the auction, you have to be really cautious about it, because if you're a novel at it and you're beginning the process of buying a property, you might not know the second part. So you make an offer on the property, you need to exchange within 21 days or have the money to be able to purchase it. You need to look at things potentially having cash there, ready to be able to complete on the property within 21 days. Or you might need to have things such as I've just lost my train of thought. But you need to have things like bridging loan available. So you need to understand what a bridging loans effectively can help you to do it, and complete on a property and go forward. But also you need to look at it, how much work is needed for that property to come up to a standard which will make your money worthwhile. So if you buy it at, you know, 50,000, how much input can you put in there to maximize and make it 75,000 worth or 100,000 worth in value for you within the same period of a year or 6 months or a year or so. So, and you also have to make sure that you have builders or traders that can work and finish the deadline and timelines, and you have the money there to be able to support that. So there's a lot of things that goes into it.
Okay, Trevor, we got one question because we're very mindful of time. We have our second guest waiting to join us. So Rod RJA asked the question, do you see a rise in interest in investing in the Caribbean, Jamaica calling?
Do I see a rise?
In investment in the Caribbean, Jamaica calling.
I think the current that would be a difficult question to for me to answer just straight away. But I think as the current climate is at the moment with, you know, BLM and things like that, I think even in the US as well, a lot of people are currently looking to review their heritage and review it, looking at things that are where they're from potentially, and saying that, okay, maybe we need to start investing where we're originally from, because this way will give us a balance of appreciating and developing our home countries and so forth. So I think there is that view that a lot of people are currently thinking about at the moment, you know. So it's very hard for me to say. Go on.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and there's a term for it called Blaxit. We've had Brexit, now it's called Blaxit, and it's a genuine term, and people are really looking towards going back to their place of heritage, of birth, of their parents' birth, their grandparents' birth. So I'm sure that there will be more and more interest. So maybe that's something Trevlyn Properties could also consider. There are a few property companies who, realtors based in Jamaica who advertise here, but maybe that's something you could think about as well, maybe hooking up with them, because, you know, or what better than to be looking to go back home, wherever that might be.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so we've just got another comment. I live in Jamaica. Yes, definitely. There is a huge trend to invest in Jamaica. Blaxit, that's it. That's definitely it. Blaxit is what it's all about. So yes.
So Trevor, can our guests, our viewers, should I say, can they actually DM you privately if they've got any further questions? Would that be okay? Is that an option?
Be absolutely fine. You can DM us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook as well, on IG, as you may know. We have our website on info, trevlynproperties.co.uk. You can see us on Google. We're a 5-star estate agent on Trustpilot as well. So you can find us pretty much on most of the platforms, social media platforms as well. So do follow us, see what we have for you, and wherever we can help first-time buyers and things like that, we're more than happy to help you. Those that are looking for overseas properties and things like that, I'm sure we'll be able to assist you and put you in touch with people that are actually actively dealing with those things. So
fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Trevor. So if you can just, I think Janelle's already put down your information down there, so that's absolutely fine. So we are going to have to say now for now. So guys, please ensure that you do follow Trevor. All this information is within the conversation. If you've got any further questions, please feel free to get in contact with Trevor. He is more than willing to answer those questions. And please also continuously share the information in regards to his organization, because like Janelle said, it's just so amazing for such a time like this that we do have a man of our color who's also in properties, and we all need somewhere to live. So guys, please ensure that you follow him. Yeah, thank you so much, Trevor.
Thank you, Trevor.
I want to say thank you so much. You guys are doing an awesome job. I love your platform, and I thank you guys, seriously, you guys make me so proud and happy to allow me to be on the platform, and Trevlyn and the whole team are really happy. So keep doing what you're doing. Take care.
Thank you. All right. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye. That was cool.
That was amazing. I mean, wow. Guys, make sure you do follow Trevlyn Properties, because he is a phenomenal man. And like you said, he's got over 20 years experience. So please, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. So ensure that you do connect with him. So I'm very mindful of time. We have our second guest who's going to be joining us this evening. This is an amazing, phenomenal woman herself. Her name is Chierika. She is the founder of Love Your Look. So Chierika, I believe you are there. So we are going to request you right now.
No, I'm not the president. Let's find Chierika.
Chierika, there you are.
And Chierika, like I said, Love Your Look is a clothing brand. Chierika will talk more about it. But yeah, it's all about hey, Chierika.
Hey, how are you? You're looking phenomenal over there.
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. Yeah.
Very well. Yes. So Chierika, we're just going to go straight in. Just tell us more about you. Tell us more about your brand. And yeah, just get started.
Sure. So my name is Chierika Onyuku-Opukiri. I'm the founder and creative director of LYL, which stands for Love Your Look. My background is actually in finance, and I spent years working in the corporate industry, often the only woman in the room, often the only Black woman in the room or Black person in the room. And I found it really important to stand out and make a statement, even if I didn't have, even if I was in a meeting and there wasn't a need to speak, for example, but definitely looking at how I presented myself to create that right first impression, especially being a minority in those environments. So I started designing clothing. I always loved the looks of Jessica Pearson and Olivia Pope on Suits and Scandal. I was like, I need to look like this. This is me. Because I'm going to work and I'm like, I'm doing my thing, I'm doing well, etc., etc. But I wanted clothes that emulated that and clothes that felt good and felt nice and made me feel confident. So I literally just started designing clothes. And my background is not fashion, never made clothes myself before. But I just said, you know what, this is something that's been on my heart for a long time. And I kind of just ran out of excuses. I was just like, oh, well, I'll do it when I do this, or I'll do it when I've got at home, or I'll do this when X, Y, Z. And I was like, now you're just making up stuff. Because if you really want to do it, you're either going to do it or you're going to live with the regret of not doing it and wondering what it could have become. So I took the full-on plunge and quit my job in 2018, towards the end of 2018. And then 2019, I spent all the year like running to factories, running to premises, running to like figure out what fabric we could use, what fabric worked, what fabric didn't work. And then we launched in October of 2019. So it's been quite a roller coaster of a time. We may be quite young, but we've been featured quite a lot. Thankfully.
Yeah, before you've been featured in Elle as well, one of the 100 online business as well. So well done for that. That's
so hold on, Elle magazine.
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually got.
Amazing.
Thank you. So that happened in April. We did London Fashion Week. Don't ask how. In February of this year. So I'm just like, I've never done a fashion show before. So I'm just running around making it happen. And then yesterday we were featured in Fashion Bomb Daily. So things have been coming. So we're just really grateful for the opportunities.
So you said that you've never did fashion before or anything like that, designs. Did you even do art before? Anything creative, artistic?
So my parents are Nigerian and lawyer, accountant. So me, I was the lawyer, but I went into finance because I really enjoyed. Yes, so my IG name is @LYL official. Campbell's asking. But yeah, like, literally, I did law, and I was like, did you guys watch Ally McBeal when you were younger? Did you watch?
Yes, Ally McBeal, yeah.
So I used to watch this show and think. So I basically it's about some lawyers, some like crazy lawyer people or whatever. So I used to watch Ally McBeal and think, oh my gosh, like I want to be like a lawyer because lawyers make money and blah blah blah. And my sister did a law degree, so I thought, no, I'm gonna be a lawyer.
So
yeah, but in my head I thought I'd do that. So I went into a law degree, started my course, and thought I'm not really enjoying this one at all. But yeah, just to repeat, it's LYL official, literally the same as the tagline here. That's the name of
the official. Sorry, my bad. I was supposed to type that in.
No problem. But yeah, so I hadn't done fashion before. I made a batch of samples in 2016, which were a complete disaster. I have to caveat that, like it was so bad. I think I spent a fair amount of money on it, and I was kind of worried because I didn't feel like I had the technical skills to design something. But I feel like when you get an idea, you really have to just execute it and just trust that you know what you're doing, even if you're new to it. But the first time round, I kind of let someone else help with the designs, and it wasn't done properly, because when it's your own, you will treat it differently to someone else, to how someone else will. So this time round, in terms of 2019, I really had my hands all over it. I was very specific, trusting myself, even when other more experienced designers were saying, oh, why would you want to do it like that? And I was just like, I just want it that way. And it's worked out pretty well. I think I look at people like Vera Wang, who started designing clothes at like 40.
Yeah.
And then you see she's 70 now. She's been doing it for 30 years, but she's amazing at it. So I always feel like it's never too late to try something new. I think school always teaches you, oh, train to be X and then stay X forever. That's not the world we live in anymore. We have to be flexible. And when your gut is telling you it's time to move, you have to get up and do it. You can't just wait for your feelings to change, because you might miss your window of opportunity. So I'm thankful to be on this journey. And I feel like as we've taken each step of faith, more has come, more has materialized, more has been more clear. So yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy but an interesting ride. It's uncomfortable doing something that's new for you, but that's where growth happens. It's very uncomfortable to be out there doing something that you've never done before, that you're not quite sure of, but that's the faith journey. You're figuring it out bit by bit, and I'm thankful to even have an opportunity to pursue something and have it well received as well. That's a big blessing for me.
That's amazing. But Cherry, can I just ask a quick question in case, so do you do this full time? You're no longer doing, so you do this absolutely full time?
I've been doing this full time.
Oh.
So when did that start? I might have missed it, but when did you say, right, forget you, world of Ally McBeal, and you know, lawyers. When did you diss Ally McBeal and say, you know what, Ally, yo, I'm moving on?
So I think I've confused the story a little bit. So I loved Ally McBeal, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's a boss. So not even her, but her friend Renee, that had like big hair like this.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when I did the law degree, I wasn't really enjoying the legal aspects of it in terms of the practical doing of work, because they're studying for law and then there's actually practicing. So I did a couple of internships and I quit both after about a week, and they were meant to be longer, but I was just like, I'm not enjoying this and I've got a job, so why am I kind of here for too long? So I finished my degree, and my last unit was on company law. So I learned a lot about economics and the financial times and the financial services, etc. And I was like, oh, I like this. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying understanding it. And that kind of set me on a path of working in finance, where I started working as a consultant. So that was the industry I was in. I was in there for over 10 years. Literally, if you name most of the banks in the world, I probably worked for most of them, because those are the clients that I worked with. Initially, I worked with a consultancy, and then I set up my own consultancy. So I think the reason why leaving that job and starting at OYL was so nerve-wracking is because I had a very, very, very good career. So a lot of people will probably dream of having the kind of career I had, and having the income that I had, and having that kind of lifestyle. But I kept on getting this nudge of, okay, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? Because I had the idea years ago. But again, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes research, it takes money, capital to actually have to invest into making clothes, the kind of garments that I wanted to make. So it really wasn't something that I could just do flippantly. I needed space, I needed time, I needed to be able to not have to work for a year or two if I didn't need to. And not everyone's in that position financially, but literally I funded the business all myself. Wow. But it wasn't a flippant, oh, I'm just going to do this now because it's Tuesday. It was definitely a well thought out decision, because me leaving a job like that, and just to be clear, when I left, I had more offers come in, which also means, are you serious about this or not serious about it? Because I think money can be tempting initially, but when you're building something new, you can't see how much money you're going to end up making. You can make way, way more. The opportunities are endless, but I know if it's just me working for a particular bank or what have you, that's your salary, that's your, your day rate or whatever. So, but we launched officially October 2019, and I started working on it full time January 2019.
Wow. So just still really in its infancy, but you've the kind of, from what you've described, being featured on blogs and being in Elle magazine, mentioned in Elle magazine, that's just amazing. So that little voice that was telling you, Chierika, you need to do this, Chierika, you need to do this, that little voice
probably was tired of hearing its own voice in your ear.
And I think what's beautiful about it is that you actually took the action. You actually stood that, you know, you took that leap of faith. And like Deanna mentioned, it's about your passion as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I know you, Chierika, you've always been highly fashionable. Do you know what I mean? You know, and you've always had that stance about you. So it doesn't really surprise me that you are doing what you're doing, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. You know what I mean? Because you are fashion. Do you know what I mean? You know, you are that big. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, well done. I'm really, really so proud of what you've done and what you've achieved, etc. But one of the things I wanted to ask as well, because obviously you're still in your infancy stages as well, what challenges have you actually come against?
Quite a few. I think it's like every time you do something new, it's like, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to figure it out? So literally, when we got the opportunity to do London Fashion Week, I did not see that coming in the plan. We were literally 3 or 4 months old. We had 5 pieces. That was it. So I'd spoken at an event about power dressing, because alongside creating clothing, which is all obviously ethically made, really well made, it's really more of a luxury brand than it is high street. We had the opportunity to speak about power dressing at work. So for me, given my experience, it's a lot about women being confident and feeling like they can show up as their authentic selves, but not just at work, but in any environment. So there's 2 handles to the actual business. So through doing that event, I ended up getting an amazing intern that actually works with me now, that's helping us with the next set of designs. And I also ended up getting the opportunity to do London Fashion Week. We only found out a week before. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. I appreciate it. All brushes. But we only found out a week before. So a week before this London Fashion Week event that I didn't see on my radar, I'm like, okay, I've been given this opportunity. How the heck am I going to get a whole fashion show ready in 5-6 days? And this is my first time doing this stuff, you know? So I just had like a day of kind of spazzing out a little bit, just being like, oh, I don't know. But I normally do this. I have like an afternoon of being like, God, what the hell? What am I going to do? Or what have you? And then after a while, I'm just like, okay, let's go. We're gonna start recruiting people to model. We're going to speak to our team who wants to come on board. Because this was like literally, there was no budget. There was nothing fancy in store, because we hadn't planned it. We just got the opportunity. And you don't say no to London Fashion Week. You just can't say no. So, yeah, so we just said, okay, let's just go for it and do it. But you know, I try and plan as much as possible. Like I always try and plan, okay, so what might be needed on the day? Because I've not done anything like this. I haven't been to someone else's Fashion Week show, and I've not been behind the scenes. I'm literally creating all this stuff for the first time myself, right? So I try and think as methodically and logically as possible, but I bear in mind that there might be things that I don't know, and just not to be too hard on myself when things come up that I probably would have done better. But thankfully, it went really, really well. But I think in terms of like lessons and things that are difficult, it's always that initial, I've got to do X. I'm not sure how to do it. But then it's the kind of side of me kicks in where I'm like, okay, who can I speak to? Who can I call? Who do I know that might know? Who do I know that has a cousin that knows? Like I will reach to whoever that can support and just help give me that perspective. Because I feel like you're not going to know it all. And, you know, when you start the business by yourself, well, we've got a team now, but when we started, there wasn't many people involved. So it was quite, you know, it's quite daunting thinking, oh, this is all resting with me. This is all on me, etc., etc. But you have to use who's in your circle. You have to use your community. You have to have like a sisterhood, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it. You've got to have people that you can lean on and speak to, because it's so important. A lot of the times, success, I think, to other people doesn't feel like success internally. So people from the outside will look at you and think, oh my gosh, you're doing so well. This is amazing. But you don't know how it feels on the inside. And having people there to talk to, bounce ideas off, and just reassure what you're doing, because sometimes it's just all in your head, and we still have doubts and fears just like anybody else. The fear doesn't go away. You just have to keep on going through it. So
yeah. I think it's even stronger because you're actually doing it. Do you know what I mean? So those voices is even more rapid. But I just want to pick up on something that you just said about the network, because that is super important. Super important. And it's cliche when people say, you know, show me your company and I'll tell you who you are type thing. But it actually makes so much sense. You should be able to look around you, and those people around you are striving for success, and should actually, for the most part, those people should be kind of doing better than you, because you should be aspiring to you. We had a live with a good friend of mine, Tanisha, big up Tanisha, and Tanisha said, don't aim to be the best in the room. What's the point of being the best in the room? You should be in a room where you are looking up to people who are the best. Because then there's the room for growth. You can actually grow. If you're the best in the room, you've got nowhere to go. Having that network is so critical. It's so key. Having that sisterhood, that brotherhood, people you can call up, and not being afraid to call up people and say, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Because sometimes we think, oh, they might not want to help me, but all you need to do is ask. And if something,
the worst they can say is no. If they say no, you won't collapse. It'll be fine. You'll just move on to whoever else. So I think you have to kind of, particularly when you are in business, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. None of this is comfortable for me. None of this has been comfortable. There's opportunities that I'm looking at now that I really want, but they scare the crap out of me. But I'm like, okay, this is good. This is where you need to be. This is exactly where you need to be. Because how can you become what you really want to be without breaking those boundaries of fear? Like, you have to put yourself out there. You need to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to do it, even though it's not natural to you. And when you talk about the sisterhood, it's so important because, you know, your friendships change over time as well, depending on what you're doing. Not every friend of mine is a friend for business purposes in terms of that. I don't expect all my friends to be doing the most for my brand, etc., because the truth is that if my brand is reliant on friends and family to succeed, then it's not really a business, right? But I get when you're starting out, it can be quite daunting if no one's supporting at all. But I think you have to be mindful of the fact that you may not have the circle that you want to have in terms of business contacts, etc. So what I started doing was going to events where women were speaking that have been where I want to go. So these people are in more senior positions. They're not necessarily from my demographic. It's being willing to talk to people, tell them your story, tell them what you're doing, etc. And you'll be surprised how many people actually want to help you. You'll be surprised how many people will be like, oh, I like what you're doing. I like how you're working with it. Because when you talk to them about what you're doing and you're passionate, it actually has an effect. You know, it has an effect on people. People start to believe it. And it's also quite inspiring for them to hear about it. So even if you don't have that circle, build it. Build those relationships. Start speaking to people that you haven't, you know, known before. Don't be afraid to tell them your story, because your story is valid. Like, I think oftentimes we, in our community, we may not have millionaire parents, etc., but there are people out there that still want to invest in your businesses, or people that want to hear more about you. So I think you just got to get comfortable, again, being uncomfortable. I before lockdown, I was literally at 2 or 3 events a week, and I was going by myself, making contacts with people. And literally after the meeting, we also had to follow up, because I don't just want to have your business card on a dusty shelf. You know, I want to figure out, okay, is there any synergies? Can I help you with something? Can you help me with something? But yeah, definitely networking and getting that kind of circle of entrepreneur support that you may need. That's really, really important.
And just to see people around you who, like you said, who are where you are trying to get to see that it's tangible, it's real, and to understand how they were able to get there. But you mentioned investors. Can I pry a little and ask whether actually now you have got people who have invested in your business? Or is it something?
Yeah, not at this stage, but I'm open to it.
Okay. Did you hear that, guys out there? Whoever's listening, whoever's watching, even if you're watching it, I'll cap it up. At LYL Official is looking and open to investors. So if you've got some spare money lying around somewhere, this lady's in 2019 and she's already been featured in Elle magazine. Just saying. So, you know, if you want a smart place to put your money, then I would put my money on LYL Official.
Definitely. So philanthropists, we welcome you, please.
Well, it's investors. They want to be philanthropists.
But we
will be getting some money back.
We want them to, yeah? We want everybody involved. But yeah, Chierika, you know, you're absolutely amazing, and, you know, well done for what you're doing. And I'm just so proud of you. You know, I know I keep
saying, don't make me cry, don't do that. Don't get me emotional, because I don't want to.
I don't think people understand. Like, I'm so proud.
You want to see what she's wearing?
She is, yeah.
Do you mind? I'm intrigued. Like, your face is beautiful, your hair looks amazing, but I want to see what you're wearing. Do you mind?
You can see it from here. I'm wearing the Duchess dress. It's the Bardo dress. It's a midi. I literally, if I move around too much, I'm going to move the chair back and it's going to hit the wall. But it's a Bardo midi dress.
I'm liking what I see. I'm liking what I see. That neckline.
It's all on your website, isn't it? So
yeah, it's on the website. It's all on our Instagram as well. I mean, with the brand as well, I think workwear can be so boring on so many levels. It can be so uninspiring a lot of the time. And I really want us to push the boundaries of what workwear can be, because if we're serious about having people turn up at work to be their authentic selves, then let them dress like themselves, let them feel comfortable. You know, we are women at the end of the day, and I feel like we're often taught to be very, very demure and very like low risk, etc. But the point is that you can't avoid standing out. Like for me, when I started off in the corporate world, I was like, oh, how do I blend in? Well, I'm 5'11" and I'm a black woman. How am I going to blend in? How is that possible? So I just had to be honest about it. Like I said, okay, if I want to wear red lipstick, I'll wear red lipstick. That's what I'm going to do today. Like if that's my, you know, my thing or what have you. I just think it really is about allowing people to be themselves, because when you are yourself, you bring what you need to the table. Do you understand what I mean? There's no point us trying to fit in and just be like X or Y. You have enough of X or Y. Let's be ourselves at work. So I think that's just so important for us to all kind of feel that way. So with our new collection that's coming soon, we're pushing the boundaries further. We want to have some more versatile pieces.
So someone has asked, Purple Moonchild has asked, how did you find out where to go to network?
Oh, Google. So there's a lot of things available, particularly for business. I definitely say check out Enterprise Nation. They are a great resource run by Emma Jones, who's a lovely lady, all about business, pretty much all about business. You can find out a lot from them. They have virtual events now as well. I literally would just, any opportunity that came up, whether it was on LinkedIn or it came up as an advert, because as you start looking for these things, it will come up as ads on your feed. Eventbrite as well. There are lots of opportunities. If you're looking for somewhere, if you want to go somewhere about cooking food, you can look it up on Eventbrite. If I want to look up somewhere for funding, Eventbrite will show you an event for funding, and a lot of them are free. A lot of them are available. So when you start looking at them, you'll start to find more opportunities, because that's what you're looking for in general. So now I get emails about different events that are happening that will be relevant for me. But yeah, it's a good place to start.
Would you be happy when we go back in the studio, we're not so much just this top half of us, but we, you know, when we'll be going back in the studio at some point soon. So would you be happy to maybe dress us one day? We have our great sponsor, Mamal Fashion. Mamal, we're going to big up. She's been dressing us
for the last couple of years.
For the last few years. But would you maybe be an honorary dresser for us one day?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We can do that.
Of course we'll plug you. We'll give a twirl, you know.
You can even be there and just tell the viewers about your outfits and why you dressed us in those particular outfits as well. So we can obviously get to see your fashion line itself, so that our viewers can actually see it, you know, and also get to see you as well in, you know, tall and everything, 5'11", Miss Model. Yeah, so definitely, we definitely need you definitely on the show when we are back in the studio, for sure, for sure. So is there any more questions? Guys, do you have any questions? Because we are going to be wrapping up in a moment or so. So if you've got any questions for Chierika, now is your time. And yeah, please.
Got one. As the new campaign clothing collection will be adding plus size or only up to size 16?
Yeah, so we really want to go up. We want to do more sizes. But just to be clear, when you start off a brand and it's self-funded, it's very, 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 very expensive. So the more sizes you do, the more it costs you as well. So it can be quite difficult to find a range that works for you. But we do have plans to expand the range. But because we're so new, we're just trying to do it bit by bit. It's not going to be an overnight process. But we appreciate that there's some beautiful women in all different shapes and sizes, and we wanted to cater to as much as possible. But I've had ladies asking me, are you going to have size 4 next? I'm like, okay, we're coming. We're trying to get it in bit by bit. It's the same reason we started off with just 5 products. It's hard to scale on that level with just, you know, when you're just starting out. But we definitely want to do more. We definitely want to do more.
So guys, listen, you heard from Chierika at LYL Clothing. Her story, I mean, so inspired by your story. The fact that you only started recently and you're doing amazing things with amazing, you know, feedback, and also just really fashionable, stylish pieces. And you did London Fashion Week even, and this is all within less than a year. So guys, if you want to know how to show up and show out, for you ladies out there, that is, when you're going to work or wherever you're going, whichever arena you're showing up in, then check out LYL Clothing. LYL Official on Instagram, and I think somebody put in the details for your website as well.
It's www.lylofficial.com. Just type that in and it'll be there.
And we will also have that information on Instagram Live, so please don't panic. We will still have that information. And Chierika, if any of our viewers wants to ask any further questions, are you open for them to send you a DM?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Any parting words for those watching out there?
Have faith. Do whatever you really want to do. Do your research and put the work in. I do believe in good luck or favor. I definitely believe in favor too, but I think you build something that people are going to want to receive. Don't just think it's going to be easy because you're in it. You really have to do the work, but then doors will start opening, and when they do, you'll kind of know that you're on the right track. So I mean, that's all I will say. And then, happy Sunday, have a great week, etc.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Have a fabulous week, and we look forward to wearing some of your pieces soon.
I definitely am.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. So, guys, what is your thoughts so far? The beginning of our Black Business series, we've delved into properties, we've gone into fashion. Guys, we've got so much in store for you in the next coming week. So please ensure you stay tuned in, share, because sharing is so imperative right about now, especially for us to ensure that our Black pound is staying within our community. So please, guys, make sure you share, let everybody know what's happening with Now Chat Show. And we look forward to seeing you in the forthcoming weeks.
Yeah, so just to let you know, every Sunday for the next, I think, at least 3 Sundays at 8 p.m, we will be bringing you different businesses, different Black-owned businesses, just like we did today. We will post more information about that. So, and of course, we are still looking for those who want to be featured, not on the IG Lives necessarily, but we will be doing features on our story and on our page. So please, if you have a business and you want to just have a little feature on our page, we're more than happy to have that. Thank you, Campbell Swaby. Thank you so much. And even for your business, actually, we'd love to do a feature on your business, Campbell and Swaby Properties. So yes, we are all about promoting the Black economy, strengthening the Black economy, and we're bringing that information to you guys. So thank you once again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side next week. So ensure that you continuously follow us, leave comments, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Now Chat Show UK. We are your girls, always here to deliver, to serve you, to make sure you are fully informed so you stay truly inspired. So until next time, guys, peace out.